These are the flaws we have seen about Noah so far. Before we continue, I want to say this. Because Noah had flaws doesn't mean he was not righteous. Not at all. Being righteous does not mean you are flawless. Noah's flaws. Noah's righteousness was limited to his generations. The Torah testifies that Noah walked with God, which is a good thing. But we have God on record telling Abraham what he wants. He said, "Walk before me." Noah did not take the initiative to warn the people in his generation. He had to be pushed to do this by having him build a box. Noah did not pray for his generation. He was nonchalant. Noah goes into the ark not because God told him to, but because of the flood waters. Noah did not follow God's instructions to come out in families, men and women together. Noah becomes drunk. Noah is given a pre-flood description even though he was a post-flood figure. This is because Noah did not have any children after being commanded by God to be fruitful and multiply. Noah lived 365 years after the flood and had no more children. The question is, why? Not having any more children, even though he lived 365 years after the flood, is what gives us a clue to what might have happened, that a curse of servitude was pronounced on his grandson. If you notice, I said what might have happened because the text is silent on it. Many suggestions have been given, but these explanations do not answer why Noah did not have any children after God had commanded him to. Genesis 9. And the sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. Ham had 4 sons, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Canaan was Ham's 4th son. If you notice, when Noah's children are mentioned in the narrative, Ham's 4th son is mentioned as well. And we are trying to find out why Noah doesn't have a 4th child after he's commanded to. So let's put that in our spirit. And he drank of the wine and became drunk, and he uncovered himself within his tent. And Noah awoke from his wine, and he knew what his small son had done to him. And he said, "Cursed be Canaan, he shall be a slave among slaves to his brethren." Had Ham merely looked at Noah's nakedness or mocked his drunken stupor, the intoxicated Noah would have been oblivious to what his son had done. So we know he just did not look at his nakedness, but rather assaulted him physically. Ham's action here is a sexual assault. He either sodomized Noah, as some suggest, or castrated him, as many have suggested. Of the two, I lean to the idea that Ham castrated Noah, because that is the only explanation that seems to make sense why Noah did not have any more children after the flood, after God had commanded him and his children to be fruitful and multiply, and established a rainbow to strengthen Noah's heart about his concerns on leaving the ark after the flood. This explains the depth of Noah's anger. Had Ham merely looked at Noah's nakedness or mocked his drunken stupor, the intoxicated Noah would have been oblivious to what his son had done. And he drank of the wine and became drunk, and he uncovered himself within his tent. The phrase vayitgal means he was uncovered. Noah was made naked. He wasn't naked, but was made naked by Ham. Ham's actions prevented Noah from having at least a 4th child to fulfill God's command to have children. So Noah takes Canaan, Ham's 4th son, and makes Canaan his 4th son. This is an ancient custom where you can take your grandchild as your son. Jacob used this same custom when blessing Joseph's sons. And now, as for your 2 sons, who were born to you in the land of Egypt until I came to you, to the land of Egypt, they are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine like Reuben and Simeon. Just like how Ephraim and Manasseh, Jacob's grandchildren, became his children, Noah takes Ham's fourth son, his grandchild, as his fourth son that he was not able to have because of what Ham did. And Noah awoke from his wine, and he knew what his small son had done to him. Small here means immature, and this refers to Ham and not Canaan. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, he shall be a slave among slaves to his brothers. I want you to notice two things here. Number one, it was not Ham that was cursed, it was Canaan. Number two, Canaan shall be a slave among slaves to his brothers. Canaan's brothers are Cush, Mizraim, and Put. We know Noah did not make Canaan a slave to these brothers, but rather to his uncles Shem and Japheth. So why are Canaan's uncles being referred to as his brothers now? Like I explained, Noah has taken Canaan as his, just as Jacob also took Ephraim and Manasseh as his. So now Canaan is Noah's fourth son. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, he shall be a slave among slaves to his brothers. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be a slave to them. May God expand Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be a slave to them. We see clearly that it was not Ham that was cursed with servitude. It was Canaan. Black Africans have link with Ham and his son Cush, but are definitely not descendants of Ham's son Canaan. Canaan's descendants settled mostly in the Middle East and tiny parts of North Africa. There is no Canaanite mentioned in history settling in Africa south of the Sahara Desert. Yet, this verse and the curse of servitude was somehow linked to us. The long-held belief that all black people are descendants of Noah's son Ham is false, because black people, as it turns out, are also descendants of Shem, who are mostly black. This biblical story of Noah and his sons used as justification to enslave Africans is a hoax, and it was made up. Noah did not curse sub-Sahara Africans. Noah did not curse Ham or Cush or Mizraim. This intentional misread of the text has caused so much grief for black Africans for centuries. They had to justify why they deemed the black African was inferior, and this story fitted the bill perfectly. Notwithstanding the fact that Canaan had zero link to the Negro, made no difference to them. The Gadangbes, the Eves, the Yorubas, and the Hebrews across Africa, who are in the millions, are actually descendants of Noah's son Shem and not Ham. From Shem came Abraham, then Yitzhak, then Yaakov, and his 12 sons. We are Semitic Africans from the loins of Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, and not Hamitic Africans. This is why Mohammed Bello said, the people he is enslaving were from the land of Canaan, the land given to Abraham and his seed as an inheritance. So, Noah did not curse Hamitic Africans or Semitic Africans. He cursed Canaan. Ham, the patriarch, was not cursed. His fourth son Canaan was the one cursed. Not all black Africans are from Ham. A good number of us are from Shem. The Gadangbe, the Eves, the Yorubas, and the Hebrews across the continent are Semitic Africans from Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov.